All right, fellas, today I wanted to talk about why it's so important to pace yourself, man. You've got to pace yourself. A lot of you guys do not pace yourself, and then you wonder, oh my God, why can't I get muscle? Why can't I get, why can't I lose fat? Listen, you got to remember, in order to get fat, it took you a fucking minute. So in order to lose the fat, it's going to take you time too. A lot of people, they set out with the goal. They're like, hey, man, like, I'm going to hit this shit, man. I'm going to do 3 months of keto, and I'm losing fat. Just because you lost weight faster does not mean that you lose fat faster. Fat loss is a process. You can only lose 1% fat per week, somewhere around that range, max. All right, you got to realize that fat loss is a process. All right, a lot of you guys are losing more weight. Like, you might lose 30 pounds in a month. Yeah, you're gonna have saggy skin. Yeah, you're gonna look like shit because you lost muscle. A lot of times you see these transformations, right, where people lose 70 pounds in 3 months and then they're like, oh, I lost 70 pounds in 3 months. That's fucking horrible. You know why? Because yes, you lost fat, but you lost a lot of muscle in the process. You cannot lose 70 pounds of pure fat in 3 months unless you're on my 600-pound life. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that. You cannot lose 75 pounds of pure fat in 3 months unless you're on my 600-pound life. All right, if you're 300 pounds and you lose 75 pounds in 3 months, a lot of that is muscle. Some of that's muscle. All right, you're not losing 75 pounds of pure fat. Now, you could probably lose like 40 because you have a lot of weight to lose. You got water weight as well, but you're not losing that much fat, all right? So stop trying to rush the process when it took you a long fucking time to get to where you're at. Like, you've been out of shape, you've been overweight, you've had a huge waist, you've had a high blood pressure for 10 years. Why are you trying to get rid of that shit in 1 month? Every year you try to get rid of that shit in 1 month, you quit, and then the year passes, then you try again, then the year passes. You've been doing that shit for 20 years, 10 years, 15 years. That shit's not working. Why not do what works? Be patient, be consistent. Because here's the thing. Yes, calorie deficit, strength training isn't the funnest thing, but the journey, the process is gonna make you become who you need to become. That's why you can't skip the fucking process. A lot of you guys think you can skip the process. You cannot skip the process, bro. You literally can't. You can't skip the process because literally the process is what makes you who you want to become. All right, that person that's locked in, that person that shows up if it's raining, if it's snowing, if they have a headache, if they have COVID, if they have the flu, if they got eye infections. I'm talking about myself basically with this shit. Eye infections, you're going through a breakup, you get fired from a job for no reason, you feel me? It doesn't matter what's going on, you show up, and the journey teaches you that without consistency, you're never gonna get there. Here's the thing, the Ozempic, goofy shit, in 10 years, they're gonna be saying, they're literally gonna be saying, your family is entitled to compensation because of the Ozempic shit. Anyways, you lose a lot of fat with Ozempic, but you lose a fuckload of muscle, right? And you don't learn what you need to learn. Just like people who get liposuction. Every time they get liposuction, they go back to eating the Cheeto Puffs, they go back to eating fried chicken, and then guess what? They need liposuction again in how long? In like a couple of fucking months, all right? People who get liposuction get it repeatedly because they never change their habits. If you never change your habits, right, you're never gonna get your goals. The only way to change your habits is change your mindset, change who you're becoming. And how does that happen? That only happens through the fucking journey, guys. So you cannot skip the journey. A lot of you guys wanna skip the journey. You're like, oh, what's the fastest way? Anytime someone asks me what's the fastest way to do anything, I either ignore their question or block them because they have the wrong fucking mentality. They're never gonna get to their goals. Now, I know you think that's horrible, like, oh, why would you say that? Listen, 95% of people are not gonna get to their goals. And 95% of people have that mindset. What do you think the correlation is there? It's the fucking mindset. If you're constantly chasing instant gratification, you're not getting anywhere in life. It's just not happening. In no aspect of life, chasing instant gratification, do you get results unless you win the lottery. Like, and everyone has that lottery mindset regarding, fitness. You cannot have the lottery mindset regarding fitness. All right, that's not how this shit works. This shit is consistency. You cannot take someone's body away in 1 day because they're consistent. All right, if they're not on steroids, you can't take their body away. Every muscle built. Right, when people have that good shoulder to waist ratio, you gotta see it. Go to the gym, right? Go to the gym at peak time. You'll see the dudes who are like super shredded, super lean, that really put the work in. Not the steroid dudes, the lean dudes that put the work in, right? Aesthetic. All the chicks are gonna be looking at them. All the dudes are gonna be asking them questions because they know. Guess what? That shit takes work. That's why it gets respect. I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, we don't respect an aesthetic physique. Shut the fuck up, bro. Because in reality, bro, anyone who goes outside and actually touches grass knows that. Literally, when it comes to not using steroids, there's literally less than 5% of the population, and there's 7 billion people on Earth. It's literally like 1% of the population who is aesthetic and lean. By aesthetic and lean, I mean 7 to 12% body fat, decent shoulder to waist ratio. That's like 1% of the population in the entire world. There's 7 billion people on Earth. That's how many people there is, if you think about it. That's literally it. So when you see one, it's significant. That's why, yeah, they get choosing signals from women. Yeah, dudes are gonna ask them questions. It's hard work, it is. Because every time you know, you're eating ice cream, every time you're eating pizza, that person is locked in and is like, okay, did I hit my protein today? Okay, I need to go to sleep. Let me make sure I go to sleep on time so I can wake up. Let me make sure I do this so I can recover. Let me make sure I do that so I can recover every single day. That shit takes consistency, man. Like, it takes consistency. This journey, the reason a lot of you guys fail and don't pace yourselves is because you think it's a short-term thing. It's not fucking short-term. If it was short-term, everyone would be at their goals. If Ozempic really worked, why the fuck would I not be making videos on like, oh yeah, do Ozempic? You're gonna lose hella muscle. You're not gonna learn any new habits, right? And guess what? You might get some of the side effects that some people have been getting, like stomach paralysis and other shit that I've seen. But hey, do what you want to do. Like, people get so fascinated with the new shit. Like, wait, what about this? What about watermelon fast? If that shit worked, you already tried it 10 times. Why hasn't it worked? Because guess what happens when you do a watermelon fast? You're going to lose water weight. Oh my God, the scale's going down. Who gives a fuck? You're not losing that much fat. You're losing the same amount of fat as you would lose in a calorie deficit. The only problem is you're going to binge eat when you're done because you're starving yourself. All right. These cycles of binging, starving yourself, binging, starving yourself, that is not success. A lot of people are like, I was successful on keto. Then why the fuck are you not still doing it? If you're not still doing something, you weren't successful in it. Like, that literally makes no sense. That's like saying, yeah, man, I made 100,000 in the stock market. What happened? Well, I lost it the next day, but I was successful. No, the fuck you weren't, because where are you right now? At zero. Come on. Simple.